All right, so we're back. It's a whole new day. Don't mind that the table looks the same way, but it's a whole brand new day. It's a week later. He didn't take his makeup off at all. So we're here. My name is Christy Waters. If you don't know who I am, I'm a hooker, whatever. This is Dr. KT. He's the newest doctor of ARC here in San Antonio, and we're putting him in drag for the first time. So eyebrows are not sisters; they're cousins. So one's a little higher. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But I guess let's go back into some questions like we did last week, or last time we were here. So what can we do, or how can we stay sexual but safe?
Yeah.
But
yeah, sex is amazing, but it can have consequences if you're not doing it safely. So I think one, as I mentioned before, really know your status. So knowing if you're positive or negative, so that one, you can get the care that you need, and also so that you can protect others in the community. Getting checked frequently, probably about every 3 months, depending on how active you are. Using protection. Just because you're on PrEP doesn't mean you're protected from everything else. You can still get gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, herpes, and I don't have drugs for everything. So some of them you're stuck with. If you're getting any of the other STIs, it's a lot easier to get HIV even if you're on PrEP. So that's why it's another reason to
wrap it up.
Be protected.
I mean, it's like wearing a seatbelt. Just do it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's actually a
it's a weird way
metaphor
to explain it, but
that I've used before. That if you're driving a car,
so I'm a doctor now.
Yeah, you passed your test. If you're driving a car and you have a seatbelt, and then you get airbags installed, you don't stop wearing the seatbelt just because you have airbags. So that's our idea with PrEP is if you're having safe sex before, this is just an extra barrier, but it's not the barrier. You're still at risk for everything else.
So why should LGBT people have specialists?
Unfortunately, the training is not there in medical school and residency. So, as I kind of said before, even though I'm a gay man, I had no idea how to treat other people in the LGBTQ community. And so I had to do a specialization in order to get that care. If we had some good reform and medical schools and residency did a lot more training, then we wouldn't need it because it would be everywhere. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And so having those competent providers that give appropriate care is, not only good for your health, but it's affirming so you don't feel judged and discriminated, that they have trained staff that know how to address you. They're not misgendering you, they're not calling you by a dead name. Knowing the little nuances within each letter of the community to know what to look out for and what they may be at risk for. It's more than just a standard population. We have special needs that need to be addressed. And if you're not aware of them, then you don't know to look out for them.
Yeah. I guess it goes back to what you were saying last time about when you had those experiences of working with, people that didn't want to help certain types of people.
Oh yeah. And then with other acts that have been passed by he who should not be named, saying that it was okay for physicians and healthcare providers to discriminate people in our community, or saying it's okay to turn away transgender people from shelters. All this discrimination is a bigger reason why we need more affirming people out there who know how to really take care of us.
So what exactly is LGBT specialty care?
It's one, understanding all the nuances, understanding everything that we need in each category, each letter of our community. But it's also being aware of those microaggressions or small details that you wouldn't otherwise think about. So I like to think that affirmative care starts in the waiting room. So if you go into a room and there's things on there that make you feel uncomfortable, you may not want to be there. And then making sure your staff is on board and addressing you by the right name and not being judgmental, because you can have the most affirming doctor in the world and trust them, but if their nurses or medical assistants are rude, you're not going to feel comfortable to be there. And then finally having the doctor being competent so that you feel open to discuss everything without being judged, and you can just be who you are. And then it comes to the knowledge part with the doctor really understanding what he or she or they have to do in order to appropriately take care of you without missing anything.
So what would happen like if I would come into your office like this?
We just first figure out, so our first visit, we want to know what pronouns you want, what name you want, even if it's different from your your legal name, because we want to make sure that you feel like you are being taken care of for who you are. And so regardless of what your legal name is, I want to address you by your chosen name.
So what are some services that ARC's Health Equity have?
We're the medical part of ARC. And so as far as specializations, we do LGBTQ care, which is just the general health care, primary care, HIV, PrEP and PEP, for which we have PrEP navigators to help pay for costs and make sure it's right for you and work through that system. We take care of hepatitis B, hepatitis C. We're getting set up to do anal cancer screening. We have a 340B pharmacy where we're partnered with Avita Pharmacy, and that just means that we have discount.
A little plug for the pharmacy.
We have discounted drugs, and then we also see Ryan White patients, which is a federal program to help take care of those with HIV. And then we have a whole other set of services for those with HIV, such as transportation, mental health.
So, have you witnessed any sort of like stigma about PrEP? Like, I've heard some stuff. Like, I know. I mean, I guess talking like the community or whatever. I mean, there's things called like PrEP whores and stuff. Like, what have you experienced on like that?
In the beginning, when it first came out, I heard more of being a PrEP whore or a Truvada whore.
So can you explain what that is? Like,
so it's the misconception that being on PrEP gave you the idea that you can just be hypersexual. Yeah, and so you're just having sex all the time.
Okay.
I think it was the same argument of like when the HPV vaccine came out, and they were trying to say that by giving 12, 13-year-olds this vaccine to protect them from HPV, it's giving them permission to have as much sex as they want, and it's not true. The last year in Los Angeles, I started to see a shift where Truvada was extremely accepted, but then people would get shamed if they wanted to use condoms for protection. And I found that fascinating. I didn't fully understand that, but
I guess so. I guess we can talk about something else for a little bit. I'm still doing this blue in your eye. I hope you like blue, because if not, sorry, because that's what you got today. So what do you like about drag? Like what turns you on?
I like it. It's this beautiful art where people can express themselves and yet still be them, but tap into this other part of themselves. So I've always been fascinated with just how artistic a lot of these queens are and what they can do on themselves, and then watching RuPaul's Drag Race and what they can do there. I think it's just the art of it, and yet they're still themselves while they do it.
Do you have any favorite queens?
Besides Christy Waters?
Damn, that was the right answer. But yeah,
that's tough. I have a lot. So my husband and I both started watching Drag Race, and I feel like I have to go with the original that was my favorite, and that was Ginger Minge.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's was Katya, and whenever she was on All Stars 2, she became one of my tops there.
Did y'all go see her when she was here in town?
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all notice I was the one that opened for her?
Oh, I didn't know.
Wow.
I didn't remember that.
Did you miss the opening?
No, we were there.
Wow. It's on film too.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have to ask him when he gets here if he remembers who I am. 'Cause I was in a long blue dress. I had little short blonde hair.
I was drinking, so.
And you're a doctor.
Yeah.
I got to open for her when she came here
That's awesome.
for her tour.
Because we'd only been out here, so I didn't know any local people. So I guess I didn't take a mental note.
Now you know.
Yes.
And now it's like you're like 1 degree away from Katya
Mm-hmm.
in a weird way. Like I'm Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, that was I think it was an anniversary present to my husband, since I was his favorite queen, or still is his favorite queen. So I bought him tickets and we flew out here just to see
Oh, y'all
her.
weren't living here at the time?
No.
Wow.
We just moved here about a month and a half ago.
Oh, you just got to town.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted me to do your makeup?
Mhm.
Damn. Sorry. I don't know whose idea this was, but sorry. I'm trying my best, I promise. So like the Health Equity Clinic it's like a nonprofit clinic.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for, I guess, just
Like
in
to be
general?
a nonprofit, yeah. So being a nonprofit clinic, essentially any revenue that we have that comes into the clinic, we put back into the clinic. And that's how we get various programs, such as the one that we have, to help take care of those without insurance. And so by coming in here, you're already helping the community because what you're paying into the clinic is coming back into it to help others.
Can I just say you have like the perfect little nose?
Thank you. I
Damn,
made
I'm
it
jealous.
myself.
You did it yourself?
Not really.
But it's natural.
Yes.
Damn, I wish I had something. Do you do plastic surgery? Damn it. Do you know someone that does? That's
Nope.
hot and like can do my nose?
Nope.
Damn, I wish I had this nose. So if y'all been enjoying this so far, we have a whole nother episode coming in, I think next week or next time, whenever. And we're gonna see the finished product here with Dr. Cates, and I'm just gonna finish up his eyes and, oh fuck.